100.5 and 790 Newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 36 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. The city councilman from East Tawas is under investigation for attempting to hire someone to kill two people. Police say 65-year-old Michael Mooney tried hiring a Georgia man, Daniel Blackhawk, to kill the wife and son of Darnold Clark Sr., whose estate in Mooney was the executor. Clark had passed away. Police say Blackhawk contacted Mooney about a possible inheritance, and Mooney allegedly told the man he would get a lot of money if he killed the wife and son. However, Blackhawk told police about the phone call. Mooney was arraigned Wednesday on 2 counts of solicitation of murder. Donald Clark Jr. died of an apparent natural causes during the investigation. Next week is Fire Prevention Week, and the Saginaw Fire Department is reminding residents to have a plan in case of a fire. This year's theme is Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, which serves to educate residents about simple but important actions they can take to keep themselves and those around them safe from home fires. Victims of a fire may have as little as 2 minutes to safely escape a residential fire from the time the smoke alarm sounds. Your ability to get out during a fire depends on an early warning from smoke alarms and advanced planning. Residents are encouraged to visit the National Fire Protection Association at nfpa.org for additional fire prevention awareness and preparation information. Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Great Lakes Bay region is looking to end the wait of 66 local kids currently waiting for an adult mentor. The organization says over the last 2 years, the number of children it serves has been cut in half, resulting in an unusually large wait list. The second annual End Their Wait campaign looks to match the remaining kids with volunteers who can go on 2 to 3 outings per month for up to a year and provide emotional support and academic support. Big Brothers Big Sisters hopes to clear the wait list by the end of the year. For more information, visit endtheirwait.com. WSGW News Time 9:07.
For almost 20 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. The cars are the stars at Northwood University's 59th International Auto Show in Midland. That begins today and runs through the weekend. More than 500 cars and trucks will be on display, including a Bugatti Chiron and a McLaren Speedtail. Students run the entire show, which is free to attend. The show's chairman says the theme this year is Dream because they want to inspire others to live their dream and find their dream car. Today is a day to wear plaid, also known as Platter Day, a day that kicked off in 2011 by a Bugsy Sailor of Marquette, who always wears a lot of plaid. He says it's grown to other states and even other countries.
What really kicked it off is we started doing an annual photo in Lansing to try and get as many people in the photo as possible wearing plaid, and then encouraging other communities or groups to do the same. And it was a really big social media effort. Even if you're just one person, just put on a plaid today and take a selfie and take Platter Day on Instagram.
Sailor says Platter Day got started after a coworker in Lansing noted he wore a lot of plaid. Sailor says he vowed to wear more and even make a holiday around it. Add Amazon to the list of companies putting out a help wanted sign. The e-commerce company says it will be hiring 3,500 workers in Michigan for a full-time and seasonal and part-time jobs. Most of the jobs are in Metro Detroit. Amazon says there will be signing bonuses of $1,000 to $3,000 in some locations, and the seasonal work could lead to full-time work. The jobs range from packing and picking to sorting and shipping. The pay averages $19 an hour based on the job. There is more information and applications on the Amazon website. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Plenty of sunshine for today. Highs will top out near 52 degrees. Winds northwesterly 5 to 15 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies, diminishing winds. Lows drop to 34. Saturday, mostly sunny. Highs warm into the middle to upper 50s. West winds increase to 5 to 15. Higher gusts possible. Saturday night, mainly clear. Lows fall back to 40. Looking at to Sunday, sun shines in the forecast again. Highs reach 64, 42 for a low temperature on Sunday night, then highs approach 50 on Monday. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now it's 38.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show. On the road today, we are at Northwood University, where we have returned to their annual auto show, largest outdoor auto show in the country, run by students here at Northwood University, and we're going to find out about it throughout the morning as we talk to a number of guests from the university. And before we get to our first guest this morning, I must take a moment to talk about the final newscast of Dave Maurer. I echo everything that Charlie Rood said about Dave. I have had the pleasure of working with him for all of those 40-plus decades here at WSGW. The consummate Hall of Fame professional in every way. We've had a long-standing professional relationship and friendly one too. He is going to be missed, but life is nothing if it's not change. Dave has elected to move on to whatever the future holds for him, and whatever that is, I hope God blesses him with a long and prosperous future and a happy one, surrounded by a wonderful family. A family, that he's leaving here, the broadcast family, but a family that now probably he will get to spend more time with. I can see him out on the boat doing a lot more fishing than he used to. But he will be missed in every regard. And all I can say to Dave Maurer is thank you for your many years of friendship, and God bless you in whatever the future holds. All right. As I mentioned, we are here at Northwood University. And when we were putting together, having the university put together the list of guests, I put this one on the top of the list because he is one of my favorite people to talk to of all time. And of course, he is with the McNair Institute of Free Enterprise here at the university, Vice President Emeritus, I guess we could call him that. And he is Dr. Tim Nash. Tim, good morning to you.
All right, it's such an honor to be on your show, sir.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd see each other face to face, but things won't allow that to happen this morning. But at least we get to chat with each other.
It's my honor, yes.
So I got to start out, Tim. And we've talked about this before, but there seems to be a hesitation in Washington to call a recession a recession. Is it a recession? And how would you define a recession?
Well, measured by the traditional definition of two negative back-to-back quarters in GDP, we are in a recession. As we've talked before, Art, it's a mild recession right now. And if you look at some of the indicators, the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, which does their GDP Now forecaster, they're now saying that they think that the third quarter, and let's see, it was September 29th, they said the third quarter growth would be 0.3% or less. And then on September 30th, they increased that to the third quarter growing at 2.4%. So if that comes to fruition, and by the way, they upped it to 2.7% yesterday, it could be that we are out of the recession, at least in terms of back-to-back quarters of negative GDP, if the Atlanta Fed's correct. The problem is that the data is so mixed. I've never seen anything like it in my life, Art. Just recently, KPMG came out with their CEO survey, and 91% of all the executives at KPMG, one of the largest consulting and accounting firms in the world, their survey showed 91% of all of the CEOs that they survey on a monthly basis felt that the U.S. economy would be in a recession in the next 12 months, and that only 34% thought it would be short and mild. Now, that's the traditional Bureau of Economic Analysis, National Bureau of Economic Research's official definition of a recession. And so most CEOs think we're going into it, and the majority of them think we're going into a recession that's going to be pretty severe.
So, let's talk then about what government, or at least quasi-government, the Fed, can actually do about it. For example, the raising of the interest rates seems like 0.75 of a point is their favorite number right now. How far can they go before they upset the apple cart?
Well, I see that's the real problem. If the Fed had acted earlier, I think we could have avoided a recession. And if we had one, it would have been a short and mild recession. I really believe that by 2023, we are going to be in a recession, and a fairly severe one, because right now, for example, look at today, the jobs report came out. The government was expecting 250,000 new jobs created. It ended up being 263,000. So according to the data, based on that model, the Fed thinks the economy is still moving too quickly, and the Fed will continue to increase interest rates, which will slow down the economy. As an example, look at what's happened with home mortgages. Home mortgages a year ago in June were 2.88%. Today, that same 30-year fixed home mortgage is now 6.88%. Many believe it's going to stay above 7% probably starting next week. So the housing market is in a dramatic decline. Housing prices are beginning to decline. New home sales and used or existing home sales have already begun to decline. The rate of turnaround on a home is now, from the time it's listed to the time it's sold, is over 100 days. So there's a lot of telltale signs, and the end result is the higher interest rates are going to begin to slow the economy.
Yet it would seem that while the economy, quote, slows in those categories you've talked about, for the average man and woman going into the grocery store, it hasn't slowed at all. If nothing, inflation's increased. Go to the gasoline pump today, and what was under $4 is now $4.35, $4.37, some places higher. OPEC says they're going to cut production, which means those gas prices are going to go higher. From the everyday person's standpoint, is the economy getting any better?
I think the answer is no. And to your point, when I say the economy is slowing, that's not a good thing. The economy slowing means that eventually job creation is going to turn negative. And as you've noted, food price inflation is double digits, and it's been that way for a long time. When we think about gasoline prices, you're absolutely right. They were declining. And on a national level, in Michigan, they've always been higher than the national level. But on a national level, aren't they up 5.8% in less than 2 weeks? So just when Washington was touting that the average national gasoline price was at $3.67, today it's at $3.89 and going up. And so any category that you take a look at, prices are going up. And the jobs report today also pointed out that wages that were growing at about 5.2%, which were great until you consider inflation. Well, inflation right now is at 8.3%. We'll see what it is next week, but the current inflation rate is registered at 8.3%. And now wage growth is down to 5%. So instead of it being about 3.1% higher than the your purchasing power being down 3.1%, it's now down 3.3%. And a recent study came out that said the average American household, to your exact point, needs $7,100 more to buy the same items that a household buys in September of 2022 versus September of 2021. So that's food, that's utility bills, an automobile, gasoline, etc.
All right, Tim, hang on. I got to take a break. We will be back with Dr. Timothy Nash. Here at Northwood University, the auto show gets underway at 12 noon today, the student-run auto show, and we will have a variety of guests to chat with throughout the next couple of hours. Right now, it is time to play the WSGW Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $2,000 by entering this football word online. The word this hour is cheerleader, CHEERLEADER. That cheerleader is on the sidelines. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax on WSGW.
M&R Garage Door wants to remind you to get those home improvement projects done now before the fall weather hits. Now is the perfect time to replace that old garage door with an M&R door and finally get a garage door opener. Their pros can install a pre-painted, maintenance-free garage door that will work great and look fantastic for years. An insulated door will help you save on your home heating bills. They can get your existing door ready for winter with new rubber bottom and perimeter seals. They can professionally install or repair any brand residential and industrial door or opener. Remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings, and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
I'm Dr. Stewart. Why give your family just ordinary eggs when they can enjoy the best? Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition compared to ordinary eggs. With 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat, and 38% more lutein. Because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
I'm Elizabeth Mcdonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The job market held up better than expected in September. There were 263,000 new jobs created, and the unemployment rate declined to 3.5%. The labor force participation rate, which measures how many people are working and looking for work, declined to 62.3%, a sign a lot of people are not re-entering the workforce. Tilray Brands continued to lose money in its summer quarter, though the cannabis company was able to narrow its loss from a year ago. Tilray shares are lower after yesterday's rally that followed President Biden's decision to study the rescheduling of cannabis in the U.S., Wall Street was hoping to see an even bigger improvement from Tilray. And shares of chipmaker AMD are tumbling. The company lowered its earnings forecast and says it's seeing demand for PCs softening. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosilda, invested in you.
Smart businesses are always looking for ways to improve. Better work days can start with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps help make sure you have what you need when you need it. We'll stock your essential cleaning products, deliver hygienically clean workwear, inspect your fire extinguishers, and provide first aid and safety supplies. Cintas is with you every step of the way, so you stay a step ahead. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome to a Johnny Mathis Christmas.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening?
Saturday, December 3rd at Soaring Eagle Casino. Johnny Mathis.
Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride.
Holiday classics and his timeless hits.
Chances are.
Tickets for the Johnny Mathis Christmas concert start at $44 and are on sale now at the box office or etix.com. Johnny Mathis performing his legendary pop hits.
It's wonderful, wonderful.
And unforgettable holiday classics.
It's the most wonderful time.
Johnny Mathis with a full orchestra, December 3rd at Soaring Eagle Casino.
I get misty the moment you're near.
Spend part of your holidays with a legend. Tickets for a Johnny Mathis Christmas start at $44 and are on sale now. Johnny Mathis, Saturday, December 3rd at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Here's a special message for all who love to bake, especially baking with Pioneer Sugar. In celebration of the inaugural National Real Sugar Day on Friday, October 14th, Michigan Sugar Company, the Maytag store in Saginaw, and WSGW are hosting the Sweet Treat Bake-Off. It's a baking competition challenging participants to create a sweet treat using some type of Pioneer sugar. The Sweet Treat Bake-Off will start at 9 a.m. Friday, October 14th at the Maytag store on Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw. Judging begins at 12 noon. Listeners are invited to stop by and watch the bakers battle. Winners will receive Meijer gift cards, $150 for first, $100 for second, and $50 for third. If you'd like a chance to be selected as a baker, please submit your recipe along with your name, address, phone number, and email to thenne@wsgw.com. That's THENNE@wsgw.com. Remember, your recipe must include Pioneer Sugar. Deadline to enter is October 10th. The Sweet Treat Bake-Off with Michigan Sugar Company, the Maytag store in Saginaw, and WSGW. For more information, you can find a link on WSGW.com.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football, and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
And we're back with you, the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW from Northwood University on a bright, sunny morning. Beautiful, beautiful day here at the university. Talking to Dr. Tim Nash about the economy. And Tim, let me install you as the head of the Fed. You're it. How do you fix the economy?
Well, I don't think that the Fed can fix the economy on its own, and let me tell you why. But what I would do if I were Chairman Powell is I would be looking to reduce the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve Bank a lot more than he is. When President Trump took office, the Federal Reserve balance sheet was $4.45 trillion. When we got to January of 2020, it was down to $4.14 trillion. And that was a good thing because before the financial crisis of 2008, 2009, it was less than $1 trillion. And so the old Milton Friedman definition If you increase the money supply relative to goods and services, you're going to have inflation. Under President Trump, under the pandemic of 2020, it got to over $7 trillion. But today, under President Biden, it's up to almost $9 trillion. And we really haven't removed money from the economy. There's way too much money out there causing the inflation. So I would be more active in reducing the money supply. And I think interest rates would go up, but it wouldn't be as mechanical as it is today. The markets would set the interest rates, and I think they would come down a lot more quickly. That's what Paul Volcker did in the early 1980s to combat inflation. Hurt the economy, but it was a very quick, deep decline, and then we had great growth throughout the 1980s under the leadership of Volcker and Reagan. And what happened with that partnership is we cut taxes, we cut government spending on a net basis, we dramatically cut regulations. And those things are moving in the opposite direction in the last year and a half. And then simultaneously, Art, the other thing that individuals have to take a look at right now is the fact that, the national debt of the United States just broke $31 trillion. That's almost $250,000 per taxpayer. That's almost $95,000 per every man, woman, and child in the United States. And it's 125% of GDP. We took 205 years to accumulate a $1 trillion national debt. And that was in 1981. So from 1981 to date, or a little over 40 years, we've increased the national debt by over $30 trillion. And right now, interest on the national debt by the end of the year will be the largest single item in the federal budget, and it could surpass $1 trillion just interest on the national debt. And it's going to mean higher taxes, or it's going to mean less government spending, or we really have a chance that foreign countries are going to say the U.S. debt is so out of control, we're going to no longer take the dollar as the international reserve currency. And that could have major problems for the U.S. economy moving forward. And it's why a lot of people, from Larry Summers to Jamie Dimon, they're saying they really believe that we're going to have a major economic downturn in 2023 that could actually be a global recession, not just a U.S. recession.
That kind of brings up my next question, Tim. At one time, the U.S. reasonably, we could say, stood alone in the world as this economic giant. We're much more dependent today on what the world does, aren't we?
We absolutely are. And one of the real problems is some of these problems, it frustrates me that they're self-inflicted. As an example, that we are in any way, shape, or form trying to negotiate with other countries for energy that we can produce internally. We are definitely independent if we want to be. We produce the cleanest oil, the cleanest natural gas in the industrialized world. Why are we looking to Venezuela for oil? It is less clean. If we're making the argument for a green world, which I'm all in favor of, why would we be encouraging less clean Venezuelan oil to come on the market? Or why did we go to Saudi Arabia earlier in the year when Saudi oil is not as clean as American oil? I really do not understand what our reasoning is to curtail American production of oil and natural gas from either an economic perspective, a strategic perspective, a military perspective. All these things weaken the American economy, cause less jobs to be created, and I don't get the reason.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I got to take a quick break. We'll come back. One more quick segment. We are talking to Dr. Timothy Nash here at Northwood University for their annual auto show, and we will be back with more.
Michigan, are you getting the most out of your Medicare benefits? Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th, so call United Healthcare today. With the United Healthcare Medicare Advantage Plan, you get more from your Medicare dollar now, including better than ever dental, vision, over-the-counter, and prescription drug coverage. Call United Healthcare at 586-842-3770 today and speak with a licensed sale agent. Benefits, features, and/or devices vary by plan and area. Limitations and exclusions apply.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
Capoco Community Credit Union has you covered this fall for any of your lending needs. Have home improvements? You're covered. How about that fall color tour vacation? Covered. Maybe it's something that will make lasting memories like a wedding. Yep, Capoco has loans that will help you with all those life-changing events. Any dream is possible when you let Capoco dream it with you. Capoco Community Credit Union, Bay City and Saginaw. Plan your fall now. Go online to capoco.org. Member NCUA.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
For almost 20 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
How did hiring the right person become so difficult? Well, it doesn't have to be. Alpha Digital already has targeted databases built of very qualified candidates that are just looking for the right opportunity. That allows you to target exactly who you're trying to reach with a budget that is customized just for you. Learn about all the possibilities by going to alphamediadigital.com today. Find your next star employee with alphamediadigital.com.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Dr. Timothy Nash from the McNair Institute here at Northwood University, which heralds itself as America's business school. So, Tim, with the economy the way it is, inflation the way it is, and some projections of a deeper recession, how resilient is the American economy today?
The American economy is without a doubt the most vibrant, the most resilient economy in the world when it is allowed to be unleashed. If you unleash the American economy, it can handle great adversity and recover quickly. Because it's at root, the freest economy in the world, it has the greatest level of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. The real problem today is that we are handcuffing the American economy with tax rates that are increasing, with a regulatory environment that is curtailing economic growth. I just gave you one industry clearly that we're overregulating is fossil fuels. And simultaneously, we can't continue to run up the debt that we are running up because it makes it more difficult for others to borrow, and it drives interest rates up. So entrepreneurs are going to take more risks and engage in more activity, create new products and new jobs if the cost of capital is lower. And when you drive up the debt and you increase government spending and the money supply, you're going to increase inflation, you're going to increase interest rates and curtail the economy. But I am a glass half full person, and I bleed red, white, and blue, but I think with good reason. The track record of the United States in almost 250 years has been a track record that is incredibly impressive no matter where you look to measure it. And so I believe that the United States' best days are ahead of us, but we've got to do two things. We have to control government spending, and we have to have a long-term plan to reduce the deficit of the United States.
And what's the reality of that? Is it going to happen?
That is the great difficulty. The long term is, will Congress get the religion to go back to the traditional values that made America great? And I can tell you that, and this is not trying to make a plug for Northwood, but
go ahead.
Schools like Northwood University stand tall, as America's free enterprise university, because we teach the American dream. We teach what it takes to go out there and to create wealth, and to note that profit is not a dirty word, that creating a job is probably the greatest gift one human being can give to another, and that the American dream is alive for everyone. There's great data that shows the most rapidly growing individuals as it relates to standards of living, as related to percentage of GDP, are minorities, as an example, are women, as an example. The Seelig Center out of the University of Georgia points out that what we teach at Northwood, the American competitive free enterprise system, the ability to be an entrepreneur, to be an intrapreneur, to create wealth, to create jobs, is working, and that America is again leading the world in invention and innovation. And quite frankly, people that were not as quick to grow in the U.S. economy in the past are leading the charge in many circles, that being women and minorities.
Well, Tim, listen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and we will do it again down the road, I'm sure. And have yourself a great day, and get out here to the auto show and drool over some of these great vehicles.
Well, Art, it is an honor to be with you again, and I will do that. And again, keep up the great work. Your show is one of this state's gems.
Well, thank you, sir. Have yourself a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye now. Dr. Tim Nash here at Northwood University. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the head honcho, the president of the university, joins us.
From Kansas to Ohio, that's where you'll find Pivot Bio. From the Mississippi Delta to Chesapeake, Nebraska and the hills of Tennessee, proving on thousands of fields across this great land. When you work the ground till the sun goes down, Pivot Bio's got a plan. Green plants and a healthy land, use our predictable nitrogen. Wherever farmers grow, yeah, that's where we go.
A ProBox has enough seed to plant 125 acres of corn. Now, if you wanted to put 40 pounds of nitrogen on those acres, you'd need 1,200 gallons of anhydrous, or 1,700 gallons of UAN, or 5 tons of urea. But what if that amount of nitrogen was already on your seed? Pivot Bio is now putting nitrogen on seed. The first company to ever apply nitrogen on seed. The nitrogen you need now on seed from Pivot Bio. Learn more at pivotbio.com.
Have you heard the news? This is Mike from Westside Decorating Center. We've expanded our showroom. I'm excited to announce that we now have designer area rugs in stock. Stop in today to look at the samples in our spacious new showroom. We have designers on staff to help with your flooring and window treatment projects. We can also help get your exterior paint and stain projects completed before it's too late. Fall paint promotions are now on our website, westsidedecoratingcenter.com, or visit us at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
Aw, honey, I can't believe you gave me toe fungus.
I gave my wife toe fungus for the third time. My doctor then told me that toe fungus is not just a cosmetic problem and that it can spread and get worse. He introduced me to a new and different routine that flushes out even the most difficult cases of fungus. It's called Crystal Flush. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-675-9431. That's 800-675-9431. Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? The United States Mint has issued the Morgan Silver Dollar for the first time in 100 years. Not only that, but they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 175,000 legal tender silver dollars were issued. These Morgan Silver Dollars are brand new, bright and shiny legal tender coins minted by the iconic Philadelphia Mint. Just call 1-800-895-7664 and you are guaranteed a new 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. The first time in history this has happened. But with limited quantities, you must call now to order. To learn more, call 1-800-895-7664. If you order now, you will receive a free collector bonus, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-895-7664 now to secure your new Morgan Silver Dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-895-7664.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a tundra wilderness tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day finds you driving to Whittier to board Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stops in Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling. All right, we're back with you here at Northwood University, where the student-run auto show, the largest of its kind in the country, an outdoor auto show, is being held this weekend, starting today at 12 noon and running through Sunday. And with us right now, we say good morning to the president of the university, Dr. Kent Mcdonald. Good morning.
Good morning, Art. Good to have you on campus with us.
He is one of the most smiling presidents I have ever met in my life.
I work at a great school, that's why.
Well, let's talk about that. How do you describe Northwood University? Somebody says, well, what's Northwood University? What do you tell them?
You know, it's a great question. I just spoke with about 150 applicants who are here with me, and I said, look, this state and this country is blessed with world-class universities. So I'm not going to say, hey, we're better. It depends on what the students are looking for. I have no trouble in saying Northwood is different. Different in terms of what we teach, how we develop leaders. It's very business focused. You know, something that we talk about a lot, Art, as you know, is the Northwood idea, and proudly state these fundamental principles of Northwood, things like free enterprise, personal responsibility, limited government in our life. Doesn't mean we don't need government. We just need to have a bit more freedom. And I think it has a direct correlation to some really, really important outcomes in Northwood, and that is we are developing young entrepreneurial leaders who go out and make a difference in our community.
I have to ask this question because you're from Canada originally. Coming down to Northwood and its American principles of free enterprise, are they anything different than what you learned in Canada?
Well, it is different. As a Canadian, we'd look across the border and we have this perception that we're the same. We like sports the same. We sound similar. I mean, people in the UP sound like they're from Nova Scotia, and but it's different. It's a different history, as a democratic republic, and how this country was developed. It was developed through a revolution, and this deep commitment to personal freedoms, I think, is one of the biggest observations I've had. I mean, you read about it, but you have to live it, and it's something that we're very, very proud of at Northwood, and something that Marielle and I deeply align to. So that's some of the differences. The similarity is great people.
So tell me about experiential learning, because we're sitting in the middle of it right now with this auto show, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So I ask a question to our students. In fact, I just did earlier this morning. I said, raise your hand if you know how to ride a bike. And all the students, they raise their hand. And then I say, well, did you learn to ride that bike by reading a book? And of course, no one puts up their hand. And you learn how to ride a bike by getting on it, falling down, scraping your knees, and getting back up and figuring out. We at Northwood think that that's how you develop leadership, is you don't learn it by reading a book. You can study theories, but you learn it by falling off your bike, scraping your knees, and getting back on. And so when I look out the window at this amazing event, and you think about the example I gave this morning, that tent that's just over your shoulder, how did that tent get here that's covering those two really nice cars? The students did that. There's no faculty. There's no staff. There's 500 students who procured that, marketed it, raised money for it, advertised for it, put it together, all the logistics, and will it be perfect? No, but that we're a learning institution, and that's how our students learn. Is we say, look, here are the theories in the classroom. Let's put it to practice. And auto show is one of those things, and a number of signature events take place. Most of our students get work on this campus, and that's how I think we have an enviable record of developing just exceptional graduates.
How are student numbers now in terms of people coming in?
So last year we actually grew 10%, our first year intake. This year slightly down a couple percentage points, but up in our graduate school significantly, and growing in what we call our adult degree programs. Those are people who want to study part-time. Those numbers are up.
If you don't mind, let me tackle the elephant in the room just for a minute here, and that's the cost of higher education.
Yeah.
What are we doing about it? What can we do about it so that these young people don't come out of school saddled with a debt greater than what their job is providing their ability to repay?
Yeah, a great question. Look, I'm not a fan of this tuition refund that people are getting. I think it's going to cause a lot of issues. I think it's a testament of maybe what us in higher education are not doing well, and that is trying to understand what's the purpose of a university. There was a time when 2 or 3 or 5% of us went to university, and we wanted to learn a lot of knowledge. That knowledge is available online in the phones the kids carry. I think the biggest thing that we have to look at is the type of programming that we offer. One is their demand, but is there, from a student's point of view, but is there work available after that? And look, I've had discussions with faculty over the years, and they try to argue that no, that's not the purpose of a university. My response is go talk to your students. Their mothers and fathers and funders expect there to be a better life afterwards. And that's why we're so proud at Northwood that Georgetown University produces a report every year that says, what is the return on investment of going to a university? The fact that this little place in Midland, Michigan ranks in the top 11% in the country of 4,500 colleges, that you'll pay this amount of tuition, but this is what the return, here's what the private benefit is going to be. But look, there's some cost containment, I think, that we have to deal with in higher education as well.
And of course, your advantage too, you don't offer underwater basket weaving as a major.
We don't. No, we don't. There's other places that might offer that, but we're a little bit more serious here, I would say. and we're proud of the type of programming, the employment that our students get afterwards. And look, a job is a job, but what's the outcome of that? It gives people meaning. It allows them to contribute to the communities, allows them to raise family, put their kids in a hockey program, whatever it might be. So the job is just the kind of the medium to make our lives better.
How did I know a kid would go into a hockey program when a Canadian comes up with that? That's
yeah, you can take the kid under Nova Scotia. You can't take Nova Scotia out the kid, right? Yeah.
But one of my favorite places on earth. Great area of the world. So let's, from a personal standpoint, what did Kent McDonald have to do to adjust to life in the U.S.?
I studied in Philadelphia, and what I learned is to be a good listener, and when in Rome, be like a Roman. And so it has not been a difficult adjustment. Midland, the Great Lakes Bay region, it is a special place. Mary Ellen and I and our 4 kids love being outdoors. When they say pure Michigan, as powerful as that advertising tagline is, it doesn't come close to what this state offers us in terms of recreational and other activities. So on a social side, just trying to figure out what's here and enjoy it. And then from a more of a personal side, I thought it was really important. The higher education piece, I know it's what I study and have written about, but the historical part was really important. So I have the best biographies on every U.S. president. I've worked my way through knowing a lot about all of them, but it's told me the history, and I think history matters. So just being aware that we are a guest, we're permanent residents, but I still feel like we're a guest here, and being respectful.
But you can always cross the bridge and suck in some of that Canadian air and then come back, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Kent, look, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, and thank you for taking time out of what's going to be a busy day for you and paying us a little visit here in the Student Union.
Yeah, it's always good to see. Hey, it's not easy to follow Dr. Tim Nash, is it?
No, it never is.
No, it never is, yeah. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you at a Spirit game. Go Spirit.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Thanks. Okay. Dr. Kent McDonald, president of Northwood University. We'll be back to close out this hour after these notes.
Who's backing Kim Coonan's bid for Michigan State House? Out-of-state radical groups that want to force their extremist policies on Michigan, including defunding our police. Don't let Kim Coonan bring their radical policies here to destroy Michigan communities and endanger your family. Kim Coonan doesn't stand with us. Coonan backs his out-of-state radical friends. But Timmy Beeson believes in representing Bay County and will always fight for us because Bay County is Beeson's home. That's why Beeson delivered life-saving benefits for people and businesses during the COVID pandemic, and why Beeson is now working to lower costs and stop the out-of-control inflation that's strangling our economy by reducing auto insurance costs and cutting taxes for families so Michiganders can keep more of what they earn. A hometown fighter working for our community in the State House. Timmy Beeson for State Representative.
Paid for with regulated funds by House Republican Campaign Committee authorized by Timmy Beeson.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All right, back with you, and that'll do it for the first hour of the Art Lewis Show from the Northwood University Auto Show, the student-run auto show, the largest of its kind in the nation, a tremendous outdoor auto show. Boy, right now the sun is shining, gleaming off of the automobiles. We're broadcasting from the Student Union where the bookstore is. And it's great to be back here at Northwood University and see these students in action. As Dr. McDonald said, it takes about 500 of them to do this show, and it's a learning experience for all of them. News is coming up next, the national from CBS, the local report. Then we'll be back with more here at Northwood University.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A new read on jobs. We are starting to see the labor market return to a somewhat more normal level. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger on this morning's report from the Labor Department. Employers added 263,000 positions last month, down from 315,000 in August. What did it mean for borrowers? Bankrate's Mark Hamrick.
The Federal Reserve looks at this and other job market data, along with the inflation pressures continuing to brew, and will continue to believe that it needs to boost interest rates. That appears to be a certainty for the upcoming meeting in early November.
Unemployment was down to 3.5% last month. That's a 50-year low. Gas prices creeping up. They're at an average of $3.89 a gallon nationally, but in California, drivers are shelling out $6.39. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti is in Los Angeles.
Gas prices are on the rise again.
It's tough to live in LA right now.
But in California, it's on a whole other level, where prices have soared $1.15 in the past month. This price spike comes after several California oil refineries shut down for maintenance, limiting supplies of gasoline.
President Biden made a sobering remark at a Democratic fundraiser in New York last night about the most serious prospect of Armageddon in 60 years, that's what he called it, if Vladimir Putin can't find an off-ramp for the war in Ukraine. Nuclear weapons expert Joe Cirincione.
Our war games show repeatedly that a nuclear exchange that begins in exactly this way, out of a stalemated conventional conflict, can quickly escalate to global thermonuclear war.
The Norwegian Academy has awarded this year's Nobel Peace Prize to a jailed Belarusian activist and Russian and Ukrainian rights groups.
They have made an outstanding effort to document war crimes, human rights abuses, and the abuse of power.
President Biden says he'll pardon anyone with a prior federal offense for simple pot possession, and he wants federal regulators to review how cannabis is classified. Xavier Nailing in L.A. couldn't agree more.
I've never really understood how they can actually make something that grows from the ground illegal.
Mr. Biden's asking state governors to pardon offenses as well. Looking to get away to somewhere packed with things to do, see, eat. This year's top choice of Condé Nast Traveler readers is Chicago. The magazine's Erin Florio tells CBS Morning.
It's a landlocked city with a beach. Right. Like it doesn't get better than that. And also, the top of the game for food, for architecture, for culture.
Dow down 456. This is CBS News.
You need to hire? Indeed is with you every step of the way, helping you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Have you heard the news? This is Mike from Westside Decorating Center. We've expanded our showroom. I'm excited to announce that we now have designer area rugs in stock. Stop in today to look at the samples in our spacious new showroom. We have designers on staff to help with your flooring and window treatment projects. We can also help get your exterior paint and stain projects completed before it's too late. Fall paint promotions are now on our website, westsidedecoratingcenter.com, or visit us at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 46 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Pritchard. The Saginaw branch of the NAACP and the Ezekiel Project in Saginaw are hosting a virtual candidate forum next Tuesday for candidates to the Saginaw Township Community School Board. The election for the board is one of the most contested races in the upcoming November 8th election in Saginaw County. There are 10 candidates running for 2 available seats. The forum begins at 6:30 p.m. and will be live streamed for interested voters on the Saginaw NAACP and Ezekiel Project Facebook pages. Saginaw Fire Department is hosting their annual awards ceremony and open house next Tuesday at the department's headquarters at 801 Federal Avenue. The ceremony will recognize firefighters and civilians who went above and beyond the call of duty when help was needed. Following the ceremony and presentation of awards, there will be tours of the fire station available for all who are interested. Refreshments will also be available at the time. The ceremony takes place at 10 a.m. Next Monday, Renew Physical Therapy Bay City West will move to a new address, previously located at 4082 Wilder Road, across from Bay City Town Center. The new clinic will open at 3720 Wilder Road, behind Newton Eye Care Center. Renew has 3 clinics serving Bay County, plus the Renew corporate office located in downtown Bay City on Water Street. Services available at the new location include physical therapy, fall prevention, sports medicine, and more. To learn more, to request a free 15-minute screening or appointment, call 989-402-1215 or visit renewpt.com/Bay City West. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
Carl came in on Monday upset because his truck needed more repairs. I completely understand because that's his livelihood. He was ready for something new. So I took him in my office right away and I was able to approve him for an auto loan. He was very happy to be able to leave with that check in his hand to go pick up his vehicle. He even came back a few hours later just to thank me and show me his new truck. I love being able to turn around someone's day.
Knowing members by name, going the extra mile to help them save money, understanding when they really need help. That's Wildfire Credit Union. It's what we do every day. Find out for yourself. Call 800-227-2328. Click on wildfirecu.org or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is next. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is wrapping up the public input sessions for the Enbridge Line 5 tunnel project in the Straits of Mackinac. Public comments can still be submitted online until October 14th. The project would include a 21-foot wide tunnel over 3.5 miles long in the bedrock below the straits. October is Cybersecurity Month. The American Bankers Association is celebrating with a national campaign focused on educating people about bank scams. The campaign is called Banks Never Ask That, a humorous way to reiterate that banks do not ask for information like passwords or social security numbers. Paul Benda, Senior Vice President of Operational Risk and Cybersecurity at American Bankers Association, says to be careful about the links you click on while you're online.
Recognize that these scammers are going to try and pretend to be someone else. So they might send a text that looks like it comes from your bank or another company trying to get you to click on a link because maybe there's a fraudulent charge, a supposedly fraudulent charge, or supposedly you're eligible for a refund. You know, they're trying to lure you into clicking on links that then can steal your information.
Benda says to call your bank if you believe your account has been compromised. You can also file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. There's an option to report scams on the FTC website. A Waterford man's pandemic hobby of growing pumpkins has sprouted a possible state record. Frank Morse grew a giant pumpkin this year. It was lifted and weighed for the first time yesterday. The pumpkin held up well and unofficially weighed at 2,350 pounds. Morse seemingly broke the Michigan record of 2,118 pounds, but missed the U.S. record by 200 pounds. The pumpkin will travel to an Ohio festival this weekend for the official weigh-in to break the state record. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here is your WSGW weatherology forecast. Look for partial sunshine for today with highs working up into the lower 50s. Winds a bit breezy from the north at 10 to 15. Then for tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 34. For Saturday, lots of sunshine with mid-50s for afternoon highs. West winds becoming breezy, increasing to 10 to 20. Into the day on Sunday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, milder high of 62. And even into your Columbus Day Monday, lower 60s for high temperatures with sunny to partly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, 40 degrees.
I guess we better go early because it disappeared. Good morning. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show, broadcasting from Northwood University, home of the largest outdoor automotive show in the country, run by students here at Northwood University. We'll be talking about that throughout the hour. And we're going to start out talking about the university and what it means to the region, and we're going to do that with the head of the Midland Business Alliance. And we say good morning to Tony Stamas. Tony, good to see you.
Art, great to see you. Great to be with you today.
Thank you, sir. All right, so let me ask that question right off the top. How important is this university to the Great Lakes Bay region, and for that matter, the state of Michigan and the country for that?
Yeah, you look around this university, and please come out here this weekend. It's just such a beautiful campus, and it is fall personified, but some amazing cars and great students. But really, it really is just a critical part of our community, the broader region, and the state. I mean, the missional work, the work they do with the students in terms of giving them the tools to thrive as they go out into the world is just amazing, and they have just such a tremendous legacy that they just continue to build on. And so it's always great to be here. The leadership does a tremendous job, and you hear from the students, and it really brings to light the great work they continue to do.
Yeah, I've always thought coming here, it gives me great optimism for the future of the American economy. Despite the ups and downs, we all know we're going through them. But this is a pretty good crop of youngsters coming out to run business down the road.
It is, and you kind of see it across. You see the students that are here now, and that you're going to see this weekend when you come out here, putting on this great show. But you see it out there in the workforce. Last night we were at Junior Achievement always has a wonderful Hall of Fame event, and one of the categories is Rising Stars. Both the Rising Stars were Northwood graduates who are doing, great things. Chris Chandler, who we know from and Dan Reimer with Remax. I mean, so their examples, they were here, they were engaged in activities like this, making a difference and helping lead type of activities like that. And so you see those examples and it's making a difference.
Yeah, you mentioned Chris. I took him out to lunch after his announcement, and he's moving on in the sports world. We're going to miss him at the Great Lakes Bay Invitational. My hat is sitting right there. And that's another thing too. We look at the region. The university obviously is a very important part of the region in terms of its educational opportunities. But this region has a lot to crow about, doesn't it?
It does. We're very fortunate. And I think sometimes, we're kind of back to business. We do, people got great people, and then they do great things, then they just get back to business. And we do need to spend the time talking about the good news and sharing that within our region, but outside of our region. I know, here in Midland, again, with Northwood, City of Modern Explorers, well, what university would better represent that whole concept? But there is a lot of good news going out there. It's easy to kind of get caught up in sometimes in the noise and the bad news. But I think as a region, people are really working together, collaborating. They've come out of the pandemic. In some ways, they had to work together in the pandemic, and that's, we're building on that as we move forward.
And speaking of moving forward, when we look forward, what's the financial health of the region? Obviously we go to the store, we see the inflation, we pump gas, we see it. But what's the overall health and the future health of the economy in Great Lakes Bay?
I think it's really sound. I mean, you talk to the businesses here that, are kind of the building blocks. And, I think that they're fundamentally sound. I mean, they are facing the challenges that we see across the nation and frankly, across the globe. But I think we're fortunate. We've come out of this and we've got a strong, be it Dow or Corteva or Next Year, large businesses, but even small businesses. We know, on the chamber side of things, we're doing, I think this week we had 4 ribbon cuttings, different businesses that are coming here. Now, I think some of that's pent-up demand, but I think people are really excited about the future. They see opportunities, and I think we see that across the region. And again, people are connecting that, a business here that's done well in Midland has an opportunity to do well in Bay. Aviator Cookie is a business that started here, and now they're going to open them, and we see that going both ways, and that's great to see.
How has the split of Dow, DuPont, Corteva impacted the region?
I think we've come out of it and we've got, Dow still is just a great
Dow
legacy.
Is Dow.
Yeah. And then they're a great community. I mean, kind of the definition of a community involvement and activity and the leadership throughout the whole team. But now we've got a great team at Corteva, high-tech agriculture. DuPont is involved. IFF, which is a new company, Trinzio. I mean, and so it's exciting to see that, you have a diversification here that, we probably couldn't have imagined a decade ago.
When you have that kind of strength, industrial strength sitting in your pocket, does it help in recruiting other companies?
I mean, certainly that's something that we talk to other companies about, and many of them do see, and we have talked to them, and some of them are coming here. Some of them are looking into coming here because they do have a number of clients that they work with here. They have business here. Maybe they make product that serves a number of folks here. I had the Michigan Chemistry Council called me up and said, we got a whole bunch of our members up there in Midland. We should be a member of the Midland Business Line. I said, yes, you should. And they joined. So, I think that is exciting to see, but it is an opportunity, as you said, to bring other business here to Midland into the region.
So let's tout the Midland Business Alliance. What is it all about? How did it come about?
Yeah. A number of years ago, community leaders looked at it, and we've had a legacy Chamber of Commerce. We've had a great Midland Tomorrow Economic Development. They said, the mission is the same. We're trying to help the business community thrive, survive, adapt to challenge. And so let's bring that together. And so they brought that together in terms of the Midland Business Alliance. We've got a for-profit CBM, MITCON, that helps with tech support, but just a great team of individuals who are committed, and they committed really to Midland, but certainly to the entire region. And so that's exciting. I think in the pandemic, as we talked to our board, it was a proof of concept. The idea was to be the hub for all things business, and that's really happened. And, we're partnering with people, whether it be childcare or housing, just in these issues that when we look at talent are critical to move forward.
Well, Tony, listen, I want to thank you for taking a little time out and visiting with us. It's always fun.
I always enjoy it, Art. Thank you.
We'll talk to you again down the road.
Thanks so much.
Tony Stamas, and of course, Tony's the president of the Midland Business Alliance. We're at Northwood University for the big car show. Tell you more about that as we go along throughout the morning after these notes.
The Home Builders Association of Saginaw, along with Carter Lumber, invites you to the fall in our prize drawing at SaginawParadeofHomes.com.
Choose the proven performance of the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, featuring high-yielding Extend Flex soybeans and the exceptional weed control of XtendiMax herbicide with Vapor Grip technology. Elite genetics, triple herbicide tolerance, flexibility that delivers results, backed by 25 years of innovation. That's the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, the system of choice. XtendiMax is a restricted use pesticide. Always follow stewardship practices, all pesticide label directions, and check with your state pesticide regulatory agency for specific restrictions in your state.
I think farming picked me. I didn't pick farming. I'm not afraid to try something new. It's my farm, my family, and our future. My channel Seedsman gets that. I get access to innovative products with personalized advice backed by data to maximize my yield potential. With Channel, I know I'll prosper for years to come.
Define your future at channel.com/future. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. Copyright 2022 Bayer Group. All rights reserved.
Time to play the WSGW Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $2,000 by entering this football word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is song. I assume that means some football teams have a song, S-O-N-G. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax on WSGW.
I'm Elizabeth Mcdonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The job market held up better than expected in September. There were 263,000 new jobs created, and the unemployment rate declined to 3.5%. The labor force participation rate, which measures how many people are working and looking for work, declined to 62.3%, a sign a lot of people are not re-entering the workforce. Tilray Brands continued to lose money in its summer quarter, though the cannabis company was able to narrow its loss from a year ago. Tilray shares are lower after yesterday's rally that followed President Biden's decision to study the rescheduling of cannabis in the U.S. Wall Street was hoping to see an even bigger improvement from Tilray. And shares of chip maker AMD are tumbling. The company lowered its earnings forecast and says it's seeing demand for PCs softening. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Smart businesses are always looking for ways to improve. Better work days can start with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps help make sure you have what you need when you need it. We'll stock your essential cleaning products, deliver hygienically clean workwear, inspect your fire extinguishers, and provide first aid and safety supplies. Cintas is with you every step of the way, so you stay a step ahead. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSW online poll for trust in the Supreme Court. The recent Gallup poll showing trust in the Supreme Court reaching an historic low. Only 47% of Americans say they have a great deal or fair amount of trust. It's the lowest level since 1972. Trust was split politically in this poll. Republicans trusting at 67%, Democrats 25%. Our poll question for you then is this: how would you describe your trust or distrust of the U.S. Supreme Court? Do you have a great deal of trust, a fair amount of trust, a fair amount of distrust, or a great deal of distrust? What is your opinion of the U.S. Supreme Court and trust or distrust? We want to know in the poll online at WSW.com. Scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and you can make your vote that way.
If they do what they're really supposed to do and interpret the laws and the Constitution, politics should stay out of it.
Well, of course, it's always whose interpretation.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and we are at the Northwood University Auto Show, the largest outdoor auto show run by students in the country. And speaking of students, I knew this guy when he was one, because he thinks about 28 years ago, and that might be right, he was on our program as we brushed out here at the school. My phone is trying to talk to me. I don't want my phone to talk to me right now. But we say good morning to Jason Brickle. Jason, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Art. It's great to be with you.
Yeah, it's good to be with you too. So before we get into some of the details and things, but you were a student here at Northwood.
I was.
Back in the day. And you were the chair of the auto show, weren't you?
I was 28 years ago this weekend.
28 years ago. They call it an experiential learning tool. Did you learn from it?
Very much so. To be able to lead a team of people, to be able to manage logistics, to be able to create marketing ideas and ways to drive traffic to the show. You know, this show encompasses so many aspects of real world business today. And as a chairman, you get a little taste of kind of all of that, all of those things. And following graduation and then into the business world, you take so much of what you learned this weekend into and applying it into business.
Which you did. You were an automotive marketing graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do now?
So I own a group of automobile dealerships. We're branded under the business name Lead Car, and we own dealerships in Wisconsin and Minnesota and New York. And we have Toyota and Honda. Those are our primary stores in terms of size. And we also own 2 GM stores in central New York.
Was it a family business?
It was not.
What got you into automotive then?
Yeah, so when I was 16, I just liked cars and decided I needed a job, and went to work for a local car dealership and really caught a great deal of interest in the business then. And then that progressed into learning about a place called Northwood. And I knew at a very young age, I was fortunate that I knew what I wanted to do with my life and my career. And I wanted to be a car dealer. And I'm a first generation car dealer. And that has had challenges to be able to do that over time. But Northwood was the place that prepared me to get that done. And the rest is somewhat history.
Yeah, most auto companies, when they issue a franchise, want to know the franchisee is experienced and can run the company. Here you come out of first generation. How do you get that first franchise?
Well, I was 26 years old when I became a General Motors dealer. And I, prior to that, had a couple stops in management in the auto retail side. But even prior to that, I had spent 2.5 years with Toyota Corporate out in Los Angeles when they were based there before they got moved to Plano. And my time working for Toyota and the corporation piece of it, that in combination with some retail experience in a dealership, I was able to convince the folks at General Motors to make me a dealer at that age. Everybody told me I was too young, too inexperienced, the business is too hard. But one of the things Northwood teaches you is that, set your goal, work towards it, and don't let people tell you no.
And that was it. You pushed on.
Pushed on, yeah. And once I was fortunate to be able to become a dealer in one store, then all of a sudden, to your point, you have that franchise experience. Then one can become 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you want to do at that point. But at least it opened the door.
Yeah. Any surprises once you got in? And any regrets once you got in?
No, I have no regrets. Honestly, I'll start with that. The retail automobile business probably mirrors the Northwood idea more so than just about any business, in the sense that the belief in private property and free enterprise and the ability for the market to set pricing, the idea of the work ethic the work ethic not as a means of affluence, but as a means to be able to give back and give back to local communities, which car dealers, of course, do.
We're famous for it.
We do, yeah, and we do the same thing in all of our local markets. And so it very much mirrors the Northwood idea. So it's not a surprise that the automotive marketing department is such a big component of Northwood University, because it does have that tie. And so, no, I don't have any regrets whatsoever. Again, I was fortunate at a young age. I still get up in the morning, and in the words of Warren Buffett, I tap dance to work every day. I mean, this is what I love doing.
So let me ask, obviously, since you're a car dealer and you have more than one mark, how is it getting cars these days?
It's been a challenge, to say the least. And it's some brands are positioned better than others. Some brands, depending on where the supply chain is based, will depend on what product we have. We're being told by our manufacturer partners that we're likely in this for another 18 to 24 months. Our order banks are long, and the demand is there. We simply just do not have enough product right now to meet the demand. But in many respects, that is a good thing because guests are now starting to actually pre-order cars, right? I mean, they're able to actually. It's not a build-to-order system per se, like a lot of the people in the industry would love to get to, but it's somewhere in the middle, right? We also don't have a 150-day supply of cars that you have to pile on these massive incentives and
well, so your floor plan, that helps you too, doesn't it?
The floor plan does. The business model is challenging, but no different than the last 100 years. That car dealers adapt, and we have various businesses within our business, right? We have the service and parts department, which is a tremendous asset to be able to take care of guests, and those guests that maybe are waiting 24 or 36 months for a vehicle and maybe don't want to buy yet, but they're willing to and want to spend money taking care of the car that they have. So, I mean, we have multiple businesses within our business, and so we think we can pretty much fit the need of most guests, depending on whatever that is. It's not always just buying a new car.
So let's talk about the dealership model. You mentioned going back to the days when I could, order every little detail on the car that I wanted and have it built for me. If the supply comes back, if you all of a sudden found yourself with a lot full of automobiles every day, as you were before, will the model change again? Will you go back to the old ways, or have you learned something from this that may change the way you do business tomorrow?
Well, we've learned an awful lot as auto retailers. So again, this goes back to that adaptability piece. But I think the crux of it is we're not going to get a say in that, Art. And what I mean by that is our manufacturer partners are going to decide to build or not build. In other words, they're going to decide whether they want a 30-day supply or a 300-day supply, right? They get to pick. The only difference between the two, other than the obvious, which is selection for our guests, is incentives, right? So all it's going to take is one manufacturer that decides they can and want to pick up more share, and they go from a 45-day supply to 90. And then the question's going to be, the real issue is going to be, what do the other OEMs do, right? It's only going to take one. If everybody decides that this is a great model universally and 45-day supply is kind of what everybody wants, then yes, it's going to be much like this for the future, but it only takes one.
But I guess my brain works differently. I'm saying, well, that's fine. If manufacturer A wants to go from a 45 to a 90-day supply, they got to have dealers A, B, C, and D ordering those cars to put them on their lots, or their 90-day supply is going to be sitting on their lot.
They do. The X factor in all of that, though, is what that's going to cost them to go from 45 to 90. Because in order to get, to your point, in order to get us as retailers,
what's in it for you?
They have to incentivize, right? Yeah. This incentive spend today is very minimal, right? Gone are the days where our average incentive spend is $4,000 a copy, right? Those are gone.
Well, now you were getting $4,000 more on the sticker price.
But that comes back very quickly the moment that a manufacturer does what you just described, to go from 45 to 90. The dealers, if we're going to take cars, we have to have the incentive packages to be able to offer our guests, whether it's in the form of subvented financing, which is helpful in a rising rate environment, as we both know we're in right now. So incentive-based financing, true cash rebates, right? We have to have something that gives us confidence to take that product. And right now, that's not a factor because we are taking 100% of our allocations.
From the days you were here at Northwood University as an automotive marketing student to today, would your courses be different today than they were 28 years ago?
They would be in certain instances. The business dynamic at auto retail has changed so much. So much of it now is about digital marketing, social media, web-based, giving our guests a better web-based experience. So I think that part has evolved dramatically. But it's funny. 2 years ago, I believe it was. I hope I have this right. Northwood brought back our initial philosophy course, which in detail discusses the Northwood idea. It's an entire class on it. And we really pushed to have Northwood bring some of the basic classes that we did have 25 years ago, and they have. So I think it's kind of both ways, Art. I think we have some of the original coursework that this place was founded on.
It's historic.
Yeah, but this place also does a marvelous job of evolving, and we've seen that in the classroom.
Well, you must have liked it because you joined the board of directors here at the school.
I did, proudly, yeah.
So last question, what's the future of Northwood?
Well, Northwood, first of all, its future is bright. Our leadership team here is phenomenal. They're passionate. This is a family. Our enrollment is doing great. And in terms of the Northwood idea, this is a place where we want to make sure that we attract young men and women, our future students, that have beliefs in the Northwood idea, the belief in free enterprise. And a lot like me, Art, when I was in high school, I knew it was great. I knew what I wanted to do, but I always say, Northwood, like, they just grabbed me and like pulled it out of me, pulled that free enterprise entrepreneurial spirit out of me when I was here. And there's a place for that. There's a lot of students right now, juniors and seniors in high school, that maybe are a little cloudy on, but they think they have some makings of the bug, so to speak, the business bug. And Northwood does a great job of refining that. And that's what we're looking for. So there's a tremendous place in the future for Northwood and all of its principles.
Well, Jason, thanks for stopping by, and great to see you again.
We're not going to make it 28 more years now.
No, let's not.
Let's not.
Let's
okay.
not.
Thanks, Art.
Right. Jason Bickle, a member of the Board of Trustees here at Northwood and a graduate from many, many years ago. Actually, we talked to him when he was chairman of the auto show back 28 years ago. We'll be back with another guest right after these notes.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Christopher Cross. Friday, October 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Same show, same night. John Lake. Tickets start at $34, on sale now. The Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. The 40th anniversary tour. Christopher Cross with John Waite. Friday, October 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Does your child struggle with reading? There is an answer. Introducing the world's first e-training technology co-developed by award-winning experts to give your child unsurpassed reading control, accuracy, fluency, and comprehension. In just 20 minutes per day, your child can be immersed in the most advanced reading developmental techniques. No longer will you have to be disappointed with other reading programs that produce little results. Discover what thousands of other parents have found to give their children the confidence and precise reading efficiency needed in today's competitive world. Your child can finally be proud to read in front of the class. No more hassles to get your child to read, and no more fighting to do homework assignments. Take advantage of groundbreaking e-training technology that can give your child the ability to succeed in school and in life. Call the USA Reading Clinic now to discuss how your child can begin the journey on the road to success. Call 800-230-3054. 800-230-3054. That's 800-230-3054.
Hi, this is Mike Avery, and here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, Vance Gowell on bear and elk hunting in Michigan. Then Tony Clore tells the story of losing his Michigan bear to wolves. In our second hour, Jeff Godey talks waterfowl hunting on Saginaw Bay. And in our third hour, it's audiologist and hunter Dr. Mike Stewart on protecting your hearing from gunshots. Listen Saturday mornings at 6 and Sundays at 9 on WSGW.
Here's a special message for all who love to bake, especially baking with Pioneer Sugar. In celebration of the inaugural National Real Sugar Day on Friday, October 14th, Michigan Sugar Company, the Maytag store in Saginaw, and WSGW are hosting the Sweet Treat Bake-Off. It's a baking competition challenging participants to create a sweet treat using some type of Pioneer sugar. The Sweet Treat Bake-Off will start at 9 a.m. on Friday, October 14th at the Maytag store on Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw. Judging will begin at noon. Listeners are invited to stop by and watch the bakers battle. Winners will receive Meijer gift cards, $150 for first, $100 for second, $50 for third. Now, if you'd like a chance to be selected as a baker, please submit your recipe along with your name, address, phone number, and email to thenne@wsgw.com. That's THENNE at WSGW.com. Remember, your recipe must include Pioneer sugar. Deadline to enter is October 10th. The Sweet Treat Bake-Off with Michigan Sugar Company, the Maytag store in Saginaw, and WSGW. For information and an entry link, go to WSGW.com.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here at Northwood University, where the auto show is taking place, the largest outdoor auto show run by students in the country. And we are pleased to welcome the Vice President of Advancement here at Northwood University. Recently advanced himself. We'll explain that. We say good morning to Murray Kite. Murray, good morning.
Good morning, Art. It's a pleasure of mine to be here joining you this
Got to
morning.
pull that microphone down, sitting on top of your head there. Just there you
Sure.
go. There
Yeah,
you go.
how's
Look at
that? How's that? Thank you.
Much better. You've advanced, you see. Well, as I mentioned, Murray has advanced because you are new to the job here, aren't you?
I am. I just joined the Northwood family just after Labor Day.
But not without a connection.
No. I first heard about Northwood through Dr. Mcdonald. I know Kent was one of your earlier guests this morning.
Okay, we'll stop right there. If you haven't figured it out, folks, he, like Dr. McDonald, is a Canadian. With the word "aboot," we heard, so we know.
Kent is a maritimer from Nova Scotia, and so I had the great honor and pleasure to work for Kent when he was the president at a university in Nova Scotia, St. Francis Xavier University, and he left his position there to become president here, and he spoke so highly about the university and the community and the what it's providing to the students in Michigan and beyond Michigan. So I was really excited to join the team.
What does the Vice President of Advancement do?
So we advance the mission of the university through three key areas, Art. First and foremost is through fundraising. We raise money from private and and corporate donors to help allow us to do what we need to do in terms of providing an engaging learning environment, hiring top-notch faculty, and providing those experiential experiences for our students. The second area that advancement does is the marketing and communication aspect that's so important in today's world of telling everybody about our story. And then the third aspect is engaging with our strong alum. We have over 50,000 alums since 1959, and building those strong relations with our alumni. So those are the three key areas of advancement.
I've got to ask about the fundraising part, because the nature of this university, particularly on the auto side, is there are a lot of family businesses represented here where father, son, daughter, in succession go to Northwood University. Is it easier to go to one of those auto dealers who are so well aware of Northwood University and maybe have benefited from Northwood University and say, plunk down some change on the table for me?
Absolutely. We call those people who are close to us, and certainly our graduates and their families who have come to Northwood, the alum, who have strong relationships with the university. Certainly they're more open to hearing about how they can help in terms of building the university forward. But at the same time, it's critically important that we build those strong relationships. We don't take advantage of our alumni, and so that's why it's important to have the various events that we do. We go into the community, we visit alum, we share what's happening at the university, and really try to build strong relationships with our alum.
All right, we are talking to Murray Kite. He is the Vice President of Advancement here at Northwood University, where today the auto show run by the students, the largest outdoor auto show of its kind in the country, kicks off at 12 noon and runs through this weekend on this beautiful campus here in Midland, Michigan. If you have a chance, come on out, take a look at these magnificent automobiles, enjoy the weather, and enjoy this beautiful campus. And it's free to get in. So come on out and enjoy the auto show. We'll be back with Mr. Kite in just a moment.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Do you have Medicare questions? Confused by all those TV ads? There are options available to you now through December 7th that you didn't have before. Medicare Choices of Saginaw will have your questions answered by attending a free Medicare seminar at the Friedland Sports Zone on Wednesday, October 12th or October 26th. Starting time is 11 a.m. with free refreshments. Reserve your space. Call 989-899-7820 today. Medicare Choices of Saginaw. Again, 989-899-7820. It'll be the best call you ever made.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. Uma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Uma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, my fat fingers don't want to work and the button doesn't work, so we'll just go back to doing what we do. We're talking to Murray Kite, Vice President of Advancement here at Northwood University. How much of when we talk about money and talk about donations to the university, how much of that goes into providing scholarships and financial aid for students so they don't come out saddled with those huge debts?
Yeah, I would say, without giving a specific number, because I've just joined Northwood, but I would say, from speaking to Dr. Mcdonald, the majority of the funds that we raise and that we will raise, because we're
it's ongoing.
That's right, it's ongoing. Building up those scholarships for our students, for the students who should be here, want to be here, but can't afford to be here. And it's providing those opportunities for them to come to Northwood. And from our donor standpoint, Art, that resonates because it's a lifetime impact. And hopefully those students who come and graduate from Northwood and are successful in their careers, they in turn become donors as well, and they pay it forward. So it's a significant part of our fundraising efforts.
I mean, it really is true. Alumni are important to a university, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's one of the advantages that Northwood has. You heard from Jason Brickle, the guest right before me.
Ideal example.
Prime example. And he's giving back in so many different ways in terms of his time, his talents, and his treasure. And so being a small private university, our classes aren't large. And so you really develop a strong bond with your classmates and your faculty and staff and the administration. And that carries forward when they're out in their careers.
Another area, of course, is capital improvements. And we all know what happened back in 2020 with the dam failures. You weren't here for that. Lucky you. But now you get to deal with some of the aftermath. And how did the campus survive it? What have you learned about it since you've been here?
I would say incredible, the level of support from the community and alumni to restore and enhance the campus from prior to the flooding. We've been able to renovate and upgrade the Bennett Sports Center, the DeVos Students Development Center. The Mall Walk is beautiful. If our listeners have not been to campus, they need to come, because the Mall Walk with Lincoln on the Prairie and the beautiful sitting area, the fountain area, the new Four Seasons infrastructure, and the work that we're doing in the Founders Garden is incredible.
It's an incredible campus. It's cut into the woods. I mean, and everywhere you look now, we begin to see color, because here we are in October, obviously.
Yeah.
And, it's worth coming out. Just look at the color, leave alone the cars.
Well, Northwood is known as the Midlands University, but also the University in the Woods. And it really is attracting. If you're a new student or a parent looking at the university, it's a really welcoming community, not only physically, but the staff, faculty really care about the success of our students.
So, I mean, you worked with President Mcdonald, so you knew what you were getting into when you came here. But just how different is this university from anything you've done in the past?
I would say it's very much like the university that I worked with Dr. Mcdonald and I worked with in Nova Scotia, in the sense that a very tight-knit community that fosters that feelings of being a part of a family and strong alumni. The previous post-secondary institution that I was at, there wasn't that feeling, that close family feeling. And that's the uniqueness of Northwood and being in Midland, that everyone cares for your success. You're not a number, Art. You're not in a class of 400 or 500 students and you're being taught by a TA. You're actually being taught by somebody who's been in industry, has their doctorate or their PhD, and is able to really leverage their experience in driving the academic mission of the university with their students.
That's not bad. In 4 weeks, you've done well.
Well, I'm surrounded by wonderful colleagues, and the executive team are stellar, and the staff in the advancement team are just really, really supportive, and I would say incredible.
All right. So in the last minute or so we have together, why should a student consider Northwood?
A student should consider Northwood for, first of all, its learning environment. They will not get a better personalized, customized learning environment in the business programming area. Secondly, it's one of the most beautiful campuses that I've ever been at, and it's inviting. It's warm and engaging. And that I think the third thing is Northwood has a stellar reputation in industry, and you heard that from Jason Brickle, who's been a wonderful alum and a leader in the automotive business. And so those three things: the learning environment, the physical environment, and the reputation of the university.
Well, Murray, it's a pleasure to have you in our midst. Welcome to the U.S.
Great to be here.
And great to have you. Thanks for stopping by. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Okay. Nice meeting you, Art.
Same here.
Okay. Thank you.
Murray Kite, he is the Vice President of Advancement here at Northwood University. We're going to take our last break and then come back and tell you what's ahead on Focus from the Northwood Auto Show.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier and empower your retirement. They talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSW online poll for trust in the Supreme Court, the recent Gallup poll showing trust in the Supreme Court reaching an historic low. Only 47% of Americans say they have a great deal or fair amount of trust. It's the lowest level since 1972. Trust was split politically in this poll. Republicans trusting at 67%, Democrats 25%. Our poll question for you then is this: how would you describe your trust or distrust of the U.S. Supreme Court? Do you have a great deal of trust, a fair amount of trust, a fair amount of distrust, or a great deal of distrust? What is your opinion of the U.S. Supreme Court, and trust or distrust? We want to know in the poll online at WSW.com. Scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and you can make your vote that way.
If they do what they're really supposed to do and interpret the laws and the Constitution, politics should stay out of them.
Well, of course, it's always whose interpretation.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Mhm.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
And that'll do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show from Northwood University. But stick around because we will be back with Focus, and we'll be talking to the chairman, the student chairman of the auto show, Ethan Schad. He will be with us right after the news, but that's what's coming up next. CBS News will have the national and world report for you. We'll have the local report on WSGW, bringing you up to date on the region and the state. And then I'll be back with Focus. Stick around. It's next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Financial markets are in the red as investors digest the government's September jobs report. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says 263,000 jobs added on is good, but off the recent pace.
We still have some slack in the labor market. The unemployment rate dropped down to 3.5%. Most likely that's a combination of people who actually got jobs, but people who are not entering the labor force. So the participation rate still remains very low. Hourly wages are up by 5% from a year ago. That's just not enough for any worker to contend with the overall inflation rate, which is more than 8%.
And gas prices are moving higher again. Patrick DeHaan of GasBuddy.com says there will be financial and possible political impact.
With gas prices going up as Americans enter the voting booths, it could be a stark reminder that gas prices are a very high priority for your average American.
At a New York City fundraiser, President Biden said he doesn't think Vladimir Putin is joking about possibly using tactical nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Nuclear expert Joe Cirincione.
We should take Vladimir Putin at his word. This is not a bluff. But Joe Biden gets it. He understands that there's no way to use a nuclear weapon and not risk Armageddon.
Human rights groups in Russia and Ukraine and a jailed activist in Belarus share this year's Nobel Peace Prize.
Together, they demonstrate the significance of civil society for peace and democracy.
Well, sources tell CBS News the FBI and IRS believe there's enough evidence to bring charges against President Biden's son Hunter in a tax case and gun purchase. Former Deputy Attorney General Harry Litman says that decision now is up to a U.S. attorney in Delaware.
He's got to make that final call under the principles of federal prosecution, not the initial call that the FBI has made in gathering evidence.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams has declared a state of emergency with more than 17,000 migrants now there, many sent by bus from Texas.
Once the asylum seekers from today's buses are provided shelter, we will surpass the highest number of people in recorded history in our city's shelter system.
Las Vegas police say a man who's in custody used a kitchen knife to kill 2 people and injure 6 on the Strip. For visitors, it's unsettling.
I come to Vegas all the time, and usually we feel like pretty safe, but now these things happening.
Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 380 points. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Attention. Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by TRO Health.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings, and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
This is Saginaw Spirit Hockey.
First OHL goal. Michael Misa. Good play, good goal.
The Saginaw Spirit hit the road for the first time this season, taking on the Sarnia Sting Friday night. Game time coverage begins at 6:50 on 100.5 News Radio WSGW.
Saginaw Spirit Hockey on WSGW. Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Clear cloudy skies and 47 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. An East Tawas City Council person and business owner was in court on Wednesday accused of plotting to kill 2 people. According to the Michigan State Police, 65-year-old Michael Mooney is charged with solicitation of murder after he tried to hire someone to kill 2 Oscoda residents related to a man whose estate he was overseeing. The Georgia man he hired did not follow through on the murders, and the Michigan State Police is not announcing charges against him at this time. Mooney will appear in court again later this month. Police are asking anyone with more information to contact the West Branch Post. Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the Great Lakes Bay region has launched their second annual End Their Wait campaign this week, setting a goal to match 66 kids on their wait list throughout the region with mentors before the end of 2022. Mentors are asked to commit to 2 to 3 match outings per month for at least 1 year, though many matches stay together much longer. The strongest matches bond over low or no-cost activities like walks in the park, game nights, or cooking meals together. Kids waiting for a mentor range from 6 to 13 years of age and come from a variety of backgrounds, though most come from single-parent homes and or families struggling with poverty. Many are working to overcome academic challenges, experiences with bullying, or mental health concerns. Prior experience is not necessary to be a mentor. For more information about being a big brother or big sister, or to get started, visit endtheirwait.com. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Moments like watching my grandson steal second mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, Palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. The second man to plead guilty in a kidnapping plot against Michigan's governor has been sentenced to 4 years in prison. Caleb Franks was rewarded for testifying for prosecutors at 2 trials, but his prison term was longer than the sentence given to Ty Garbin, who quickly cooperated and pleaded guilty much earlier. Franks was sentenced on Thursday. He was among 6 anti-government extremists who were charged with conspiracy in federal court. Investigators said the group's goal was to kidnap Governor Whitmer and incite a U.S. civil war known as the Boogaloo before the 2020 presidential election. Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. were convicted in August. 2 other men were acquitted in April. It's likely to be an issue in the wake of Hurricane Ian, people trying to resell cars that were damaged by the hurricane. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilberts.
If you're buying a used car, experts say you should always do a Carfax or similar check to see if there have been any water-related repairs. But Matt Kostrava, who's a service technician at Bowman Chevrolet, says you should also check hidden spaces like fuse box and the spare tire well for water lines.
If you know like some areas to look in a car, even though they clean them up well, a lot of times they don't clean up the inside of the car so well that you'll still see a water line or a salt line or something in it.
Kostrava says the problem could be worse this time due to the sheer size of the storm and the tight used vehicle market. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
A former pastor of a church near West Michigan's Walker is in jail for inappropriately touching a teenage girl. WOOD-TV reports 73-year-old Ronald Van Overloop pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault and battery and was sentenced to 45 days in jail. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Department says the incident happened at Grace Protestant Reformed Church in Grand Rapids. The victim is one of several who reported incidents to the sheriff's office. Van Overloop was fired from the church. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here is your WSGW weatherology forecast. Look for partial sunshine for today with highs working up into the lower 50s. Winds a bit breezy from the north at 10 to 15. Then for tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 34. For Saturday, lots of sunshine with mid-50s for afternoon highs. West winds becoming breezy, increasing to 10 to 20. Into the day on Sunday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, milder high of 62. And even into your Columbus Day Monday, lower 60s for high temperatures with sunny to partly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now it's 42.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. Focus brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, easy, and affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. You can find out more online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751, RoofMax with 2 X's. We've been broadcasting today from Northwood University's campus in Midland, Michigan, where the largest outdoor auto show run by students in the country is taking place. This weekend, it opens up in about 48 minutes or so at 12 noon and opens all weekend, and it is a free show to come look at hundreds and hundreds of automobiles, a show produced, operated by the students. We're going to talk about that this morning because with us from Northwood Institution is the Chief Business Development Officer. We say good morning to Justin Marshall. Justin, good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you for having me.
Like so many on this campus, you have history here.
I do. I'm a graduate of Northwood University, a proud graduate. Back in 2003, I was on this campus, and for the 4 years I spent my academic journey here, I was involved in the auto show. I was one of these students before they were even thinking about this show that they were going to be having. So it's great fun to be here on your show, and it's great fun to be talking about the auto show.
And it's interesting because you really didn't study automotive. You studied economics, right?
That's right. Yeah, I studied economics, and also I studied hospitality. And automotive is just a little bit about our DNA here at Northwood. And even though we've got great business programs outside of the automotive industry, the automotive has always been a part of our core. It's part of the heart of Northwood. And people from all majors, students from all majors get drawn into this show. More than 450 students are involved in this show this weekend, making it happen.
What does it mean for those students?
Gosh, that's a great question. You know, I think it means a lot of different things. And I'm just going to speak from my experience because I don't want to put words in their mouth. But, you know, the theme of this show is dream. And it's really about the dream of the students being able to craft their own show, being able to put their own touch on it, make this completely possible. And the dream that they all have as young men, women, of that dream car that they want to own too, right? We all had that.
Still do.
What was your dream car?
Ferrari.
So this show really is just about that dream that they have. And I think for the students, it's also about experience. The only reason that I'm on this show today, right now with you, is because the students are actually out there working. They're the ones running this show. And
Ethan Shadd stopped by to say hi.
Yeah, Ethan Shadd and the general chair and his entire executive team, they're just a little bit down what we call the mall walk here, and they're doing a ribbon cutting to welcome all of our guests.
How does he become chair, and who chooses the chair?
It's a great question. So every year there is a new general chair, and it's a competitive process. The students have to apply, and they have to interview just like they would have to apply and interview for a job once they graduate from Northwood University. So it's a learning experience there. They're competing against their peers, and it's really with our chair of the automotive program and leadership of the university and other representatives who sit on that board and that panel who choose these students.
It's one of the few interactions where staff at the university have a play.
Yeah, so it's one of the few interactions. The staff do get involved, but they choose the general chair, and then the general chair gets to choose his team. That's not a decision that we make here at Northwood University. That's a decision that they make locally. Ethan comes up with his own chief financial officer, his marketing officers, his entire team, and then they build their team beneath them. And for an entire year, they plan for this big event.
The university calls it experiential learning.
That's right.
And it really is. You're learning by experience, aren't you?
You are learning by experience. So
you can read it in a book, but it's different when you have to put the car on the grass, right?
It is different when you have to put the car on the grass. So did you learn to ride a bike by reading a book? And I think for everyone, the answer is absolutely no.
You've been talking to the president.
Yeah, I think so. And he likes to share that story.
He does.
And you're not going to learn to run an event. You're not going to learn to run a business by not being involved in those types of activities. So we really turn the keys over to the students, pun intended, and say, make the decisions. And we want you to be successful, but we want you to learn from your failures too, because those are going to happen, and you're going to have to learn how to adapt. And that's all a part of life and being in business.
That's part of decision making and management too. I mean, I've talked to many managers over my career, and a lot of the good ones will tell you, well, I want to be right 51% of the time. And I learn from the other 49%.
That's right.
That's the way it goes. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. We're talking to Justin Marshall, Chief Business Development Officer here at Northwood University, I should say. And we will be back after these notes.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advisors grounded in your success, Simplot Grower Solutions is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable. Find your local crop advisor at simplotgrowersolutions.com.
Some politicians drive me nuts. It's like the rules just don't apply to them.
Uh-oh, what now?
It's that Kristen McDonald rivet.
Is she one of those politicians who just spends and spends, making inflation worse?
Yes, but it's even worse with rivet. She voted herself a pay raise on her taxpayer-funded salary.
Unbelievable.
And she was hiking her own pay while raising rates and fees for people like us.
We already can't pay our bills, and she's just making it worse. Only politicians like Kristen McDonald Rivet can get away with a scheme like that.
Worst part is, now she wants a promotion. She's running for state senate. Imagine what kind of damage she'd do if we send her to Lansing.
I'd never vote for a politician like Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Higher prices for us, higher salary for her. Say no to Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican Campaign Committee, authorized by Annette Glenn for state senate.
Meet Boost, the fizzing, amazing vitamin boosts that make you feel like
I like to boost it, boost it. My vitamins can boost it. I like to boost it, boost it. We like that.
Boost effervescent vitamins turn your H2O into H2O to give you a fizz-tastic feeling like...
I like to boost it. My vitamins can boost it. I like to boost it. We like that. Boost it.
Because it's not just vitamins. It's Boost, the fizzing amazing vitamin boost.
Boost it.
Now, a WSGW Morning Team Show memorable moment.
On the Morning Team Show page, you got a picture posted. See those pair of shoes there?
I do.
Can you see what it says in the back of those shoes?
I believe it says Waffle House.
It does say Waffle House. Waffle House and Adidas have teamed up and launching on the first opening round day of the Masters, a brand new shoe, Waffle House themed. Yes, you heard me right.
A golf shoe or a regular shoe?
A golf shoe. It boasts an off-white color. It says similar to waffle batter. There are 3 stripes on the sides of the shoe that sport a brown checkered waffle pattern to resemble the color of a cooked Waffle House waffle. Here you go. A transparent outsole that captures the friendly and sometimes generous pour of maple syrup. Don't know what that means. If you're interested, by the way, $200 retail price.
$200 for those?
Well, there's your question now. Would you rather have the waffles or would you have the shoes?
I'd rather have the waffles, but not for $200.
You'd rather have a good swing.
It's going to cost you more than $200 there, Louis.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW, broadcasting from Northwood University, home of the auto show, and I have lost track of how many auto shows this is. Justin Marshall, the Chief Business Development Officer, is with us. Do you know the number?
I do. It's our 59th annual auto show.
59th?
Yeah. We started in 1964. So our university got started in 1959.
59, yeah.
So this auto show came not too long after in 1964 and started with 40 cars. And we've had it every year since, whether there's been a pandemic or not. The auto show has always happened, rain, shine, or snow.
Yeah, well, today we have the shine.
We got the shine.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. All right, so Justin, you're an alumni of the school. You've done other things, but you come back to the school as Chief Business Development Officer. So what's your role? What do you do?
My role is really, I find fascinating on a daily basis. I do a lot with our alumni relations, working with a former guest that you just had on, Murray Kite, and doing a lot of advancement and fundraising.
But you're not
work.
Canadian.
I'm not Canadian. No. Raised here right in Michigan, southeast Michigan, a little small town called Holly, Michigan.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I do a lot of fundraising. I do a lot of alumni relations work, trying to build the prestige of this university, and then getting involved in different programs, trying to help out our enrollment and our community engagement efforts. So I like to say lowering the drawbridge to Northwood University. We're kind of hidden back here in the woods, and you could go by on Main Street and potentially go right by our university because we're tucked back here in these beautiful woods.
More than likely you would.
You would. So we want to lower that drawbridge and make sure people feel welcome to come here, that this is a great place to not only enjoy an auto show, but a great place to walk your dog, a great place to catch Division II athletics, very competitive Division II athletics, and a great place to learn and just enjoy some time.
So 59 years, how has the auto show changed over those years?
Well, the auto show has dramatically changed since the very first one. It's become a lot larger, for one, and a lot more students are involved as the university has grown. So is the size of this auto show. But the real exciting part, I think, is how it changes from year to year. When you take a look at each general chair, they're able to put their own flavor and their own spin on what they want the auto show to become. So I give a lot of credit to the general chair, Ethan Shad. He's brought in a lot of new and unique elements. For example, we've got a Cars and Coffee event on Saturday. And then we also have what we call Tavern 59 on Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. People can come on campus. They can see the cars, the beautiful cars, the Paganis, the Bugattis, the McLarens, right?
The dream cars.
The dream cars, right? You can see those. But then when you're done with that, you can enjoy some live music and enjoy a beverage and just relax and just have a great time. So Ethan's done a great job, but every general chair has put their unique touch on it.
The other unique thing about it is when you come on campus for this auto show and you go around to the various car exhibits, the folks working the tent are all students.
All students.
Here's your opportunity to talk to students in Northwood.
That's right. So if you're coming to campus, you're going to see students running every one of the tents that contain the different brands and the different vehicles. And they all spend time learning about those vehicles so that they can have a good conversation with you about those vehicles if you're interested in learning about them. But you can also come and just talk to the student, learn about who they are, what their major is, and what their dreams are. And it's just a really exciting time for these students. They were out here last night while it was raining, making sure that these cars were taken care of. They were out here earlier this morning, wiping all the cars down, getting the leaves off of them. And they're going to be here late until tonight and all throughout the weekend.
It's also amazing at this time in our history is that they have an auto show with about 500 or more cars. And we all know dealers are hurting getting inventory. They've managed to find the vehicles from these dealers, and the dealers have cooperated, and the show goes on.
The show goes on. We are so blessed at this university that we have so many alumni in the automotive industry and the automotive retail side and the automotive aftermarket side. There are cars here that could be on their lots being sold today. I'm certain of it. But because
they will be on Monday.
And they will be on Monday. But because they love this university so much, they made sure that these students had vehicles for their displays. And, I think Northwood's a family. I'm an alumnus, as we said, but our alumni take care of our students. And, we try to take care of our alumni and our students, and we try and make this a place where everyone feels comfortable. And no matter where you're going in your career or your academic journey, you're going to have someone there to support you. And that's important.
Well, Justin, listen, I want to thank you for spending a little time with us this morning, telling us about Northwood University, as everyone has. And that one word that keeps coming up is family. I've heard it from 3 different people now this morning.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll take our last break and be back to close out here on Focus and move over and find out what's happening in the markets today from Baird & Company.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you, always.
I just had a conversation with a member who lives near Traverse City.